Yo, it's your boy Marcus, aka Just One Marcus on the Just One channel, and today we are going to be blowing up my Toronto Raptors. So I am filming this on January 8th, and the Raptors have already won this game against Portland, so I just force won it. The Raptors right now are 17 and 23. If we look at the season standings in the Eastern Conference, they're the fourth worst team, or one, two, three, four. They're the fifth worst team. If I check on Bleacher Report, which is what I use to look at my stats, the Raptors are actually under the Wizards, so they're pretty much tied. If it were up to me as a Raptors fan, as a Toronto native, I would want the Raptors to sell their older players to get some draft capital back and have a worse record this season so they can get a top guy in this loaded draft. I do not think they're going to do that in real life. Maybe they'll trade Fred. I don't think they're going to trade both Fred and Pascal in this trade deadline. But this is my video and how I would want to rebuild the team. So both of these guys are going to be moved right away. So two teams I'm thinking about to do a Pascal trade are the Trailblazers, who are buying in this game, and then the Warriors are also buying. I could see a potential trade with the Bulls if they really want to go all in. The Clippers could also be a potential team. Maybe even the Lakers if they'll give me those first round picks. So the first pick I'm thinking of is Pascal for Westbrook and those two unprotected first round Lakers picks. I feel like Russ is starting to play all right for the Lakers, but he's still not a really good fit around LeBron and AD. And I'm sure if LeBron knew this trade package was offered, he would like make Rob Pelinka and Jeannie Buss accept it right away. Because Pascal is having his best season in the league, 25 points, 9 rebounds, 7 assists on pretty good shooting. He just had a 50-point game the other night, so he's capable of being that main scorer on a random night if LeBron's not playing well or AD's not playing well. I probably could get more for Pascal. He's only 4 stars though, so I don't know if I'd get something that great in this game, but in real life there apparently could be a really big haul for him if the Raptors do decide to trade him. So I would be okay with doing this. Let's see if the Lakers agree, and they do not agree. They want me to give them Bo Cruz and they'll give me back Dennis Schroeder for 1 year. I am okay with that, so we are going to agree for this trade with the Lakers. The Mavericks right now are a buying team, and they're kind of missing out on losing Jalen Brunson in the offseason. So I'm going to see if I can put together a trade package to send them Fred VanVleet for some future assets. Here's the trade package I'm thinking of. It'd be Fred VanVleet for Davis Bertans, who is not having a good shooting year at all, and it's just a terrible contract on any team in the league, especially on the Mavericks. We have Frank Ntilikina, who is also not having a good year. And then I'm going to try to get 2 first round picks for them, because I'm going to be eating this Davis Bertans contract for 2 years, $16 million a year, and getting rid of Fred VanVleet, who has 1 year left on his deal, but then the Mavericks would have cap flexibility to sign him in the offseason, which he probably would want to get more money somewhere else. So let's see if they agree to this, and they do not. They just want 2 seconds back. That is okay with me, so we're trading VanVleet to the Mavericks, and they agree. That is all the trades I'm going to do for this season. Here's what the lineup's going to look like. I'm going to start Westbrook and kind of let him play out to see if he can get himself another contract in the offseason, because he won't be back here. Gary Trent, going to give him a lot of minutes. He's still young. Like, he's only 23 years old. If we can sign him to a pretty good long-term deal to progress with Scotty and OG as well, getting 31 minutes a night. Scotty also getting 35 because I want him to progress. Maybe the guys we draft right now can kind of be coming up while these guys are already solidified in their roles. Precious, I'm also giving 31 because I want him to progress. Actually, I'm going to give Precious 27 and give Koloko some more minutes because I want to see what he can become in this game. And even on the real life, the Raptors think he can be pretty good. Schroeder's going to be the 6th man with Koloko. Actually, I'm going to make Koloko the 6th man. So Schroeder, 7 man. Delano Banton, in real life, he's playing backup point guard minutes. I'm going to slide him over to small forward, power forward, and see if he can kind of have a better role there, because he's a taller player and we already have a lot of small players on my team that need to get minutes, so it doesn't really work out putting him in the backup spot if I need to give those guys minutes. Chris Boucher, 29 years old, might trade him in the offseason or next year's trade deadline because I don't see him being a part of this future. Then we have Malachi Flynn being a backup shooting guard on this team as the 10th man. So let's simulate the rest of the season. Hopefully we end up with a top 5 pick. Now that I made all those trades though, it should work out for us. Season is wrapped. Luka is your MVP, Paolo Rookie of the Year, Zach Collins 6th man, Giannis Depoy, Trey Jones Most Improved, Joe Mazzulla Coach of the Year with Jacob Park there. Here's All NBA first, All-NBA second with Shea and Trey getting on there. All-NBA third with Julius Randle actually getting on there and Sabonis. Here's all-defensive first, all-defensive second, Evan Mobley making it there. And here's your all-rookie teams. And yeah, Walker Kessler gets on there too. Same with Tari Eason, Nembhard, and Jalen Williams. So, did we make a playoff spot? We hope we did not. I do not see us, and we did not make it even in the play-in. So, let's see how bad we were here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're still the 5th worst team, man, in the East. And then, oh my God. So, 6, 7, 8, 9. We're gonna have like the 9th pick after all of that. Here's the player stats on the season. Gary Trent actually leads the way. So, without Pascal and Fred here, he can kind of take the reins as a main scorer. Shot pretty decently, played good defense too. OG shooting the ball pretty well, giving me great defense and putting up a lot of points. Russ, we don't really care about, but here's what he ended up with. Scotty Barnes, 14 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists. Hopefully his 3-point shooting progresses throughout this video. If not, we might have to put guys around him that can all shoot the ball. Here's Schroeder's numbers after he came from LA. Precious brought his field goal percentage up, but his 3 points aren't that good. I might have to bring his tendency down. Here's Chris Boucher, also a player we don't really care about too much. Delano Banton ended up shooting the ball a bit better than his last season, so that's good to see. Koloko, 6 points, 4 rebounds, shooting threes as well, which I don't think he should be shooting. Give me a block a night though off the bench. And Malachi Flynn actually shooting pretty well, so that is good to see. Maybe he can be a backup scorer for us. And I forgot to mention, Otto Porter has a dislocated toe injury, and Nick Nurse made it seem like it's the end of the world and he's not going to be able to walk again. But I just made him be out for the season because there's no timeline when he's going to be back in real life. So he will be back next season, and maybe I can... Well, actually, I think he has a 1-year deal, so I don't think it's going to be that relevant. So let's sim these playoffs, see who wins the 2023 season championship. Zion is your West MVP, Jimmy Butler East MVP, and your 2023 NBA champion is the Pelicans in 7 with Zion as your finals MVP. So let's look at this draft lottery here. Yeah, we would have the 9th projected pick. Hopefully we get really lucky and jump up. And we drop to 11, man. That is terrible. So I'm just going to hope someone good falls to me at 11 here, and some teams at the top make mistakes. Let's see who we have to go with. So Wembanyama's gone. Nick Smith gone. Scoot Henderson gone. I don't see Amen Thompson went 8, so that was disappointing. I think with this 11th overall pick, I'm going to take the other Thompson twin in Azor Thompson. In real life, I think most Raptors fans would rather have Amen Thompson, but I think this Thompson twin is still sufficient. So we take Azor Thompson with our 11th pick. Azor Thompson comes in as a 76, so pretty solid guy already. Let's look at these team player options. Scotty Barnes accepts. Gary Trent actually accepts his player option. Thad Young's going to walk. Precious accepted. Otto Porter accepts his, so we can actually trade him for something maybe. And Malachi Flynn we're going to accept as well. Qualifying offers, we're going to give it to Delano Banton, but not Jeff Doughton. So before we get into free agency, we're going to renounce Westbrook's rights here. Thad Young gone, Schroeder gone, Ntilikina gone, Ron Harper gone, and Doughton gone as well. And Banton is the only guy here that we will have on a cap hold. So going into next season, guys I would play is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So when I get Banton back, I could put him back to the point guard spot and see how he does starting there. So I don't think I'm going to pick up anyone new in free agency. I'm going to give Delano Banton a 4-year contract starting at 10 mil, ending at 11.5, and he should accept it. And he does, so we get Delano Banton back. While we're still in the offseason, like I said, I want to get rid of these older guys here like Chris Boucher, 30 years old, Otto Porter, 30 years old, and get some future assets back. So Fournier is at a 75 now. The Knicks probably still want to compete. Julius Randle just came off an All-NBA season. So we're going to trade Chris Boucher, Otto Porter Jr. for a top 3 protected first-round pick from the Knicks, and we're going to take on the last year of Evan Fournier's deal. So they agreed to that. So that is all we are going to do for this free agency period. Let's see how our players are looking in this progression. Scotty Barnes up 2, OG 1, Gary Trent 1, Precious 1, Delano up 1. Koloko goes up 2. And then we only have Evan Fournier dropping down, but he's probably not even gonna get minutes. So let's sim to this next season and get the lineup ready. Here's what the lineup's looking like for this second season. We're gonna give Delano a chance at the starting point guard with 31 a night. Gary Trent 37 a night now. I want this to be a really big progression season for some of these guys. So OG also 37 a night. Scotty Barnes 37 a night. Precious getting 29. Actually, I'm going to get him at 27 and kind of split those minutes with Koloko. Actually, we'll go 28 and 20. Azor Thompson, my rookie, going to get him as a 6-man, 22 a night. Koloko 20, we just saw that. Malachi getting 17. And then Davis Bertans will have 11 minutes to kind of prove himself to see if he can still be a decent guy in the league. So let's sim this second season, probably up to the trade deadline, and then see how we're looking. Season is about to wrap. I didn't stop at the trade deadline because there wasn't any guys that I felt like had to be moved right then and there. So we go 31 and 50. We have 1 game left against the Pistons. Let's see how we do. Simulate through date. And we win, so we go 32 and 50. Luka putting up a 36-point triple-double, MVP. Wemby Rookie of the Year. Ben Simmons 6-man in Golden State. Giannis Defensive Player of the Year on the Bucks. Delano Banton Most Improved, so let us see that. 12 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists with a steal and a half. Shooting decent numbers, not the best. And JB Bickerstaff is your Coach of the Year. There's your executive. Here's All-NBA First Team. LaMelo Ball taking the jump there, so that's pretty big for him. All-NBA Second Team. We have Jimmy back on there and Cat. All-NBA Third. Anthony Edwards makes that jump, and so does Jaylen Brown, so nice to see that. Here's All Defensive First, All Defensive Second, and here are your All Rookie teams. Amen Thompson gets there. Do we get Azur Thompson? We do get him on second team, so that's good to see. Last year we won 34 games and we're a 9 seed, so yeah, we're not even in a playing spot. Hopefully we have better odds right now of getting a top pick. So we're near the bottom of the East. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there's 5 teams that would have better odds. So we would have around the odds for the 6th pick. Here's the player stats on the season. Gary Trent jumps up to 19 points a night. So definitely taking the reins as the main offensive scorer and still improving with the shooting, or kind of being around where he's usually at. Scotty Barnes jumps up to 18 a night. He puts up 18, 9, and 4, and he shoots 50, 40, 68. So this is to me like his jump year, and he's only 22 years old. So if we can get a decent guy here so that maybe like 2 to 3 years from now we can compete, that'd be perfect. Azur Thompson actually comes in and averages 14, 3, and 3 with a steal a night and shoots the ball pretty well, so he can even come in as a starter potentially. Precious puts up 14 and 11 now. Still don't love his 3-point shooting. I didn't touch his tendency yet because I just want to see if maybe he would work it out, but he did not. OG drops in points, but he's still giving me that great defense, so hopefully I can keep him around on a decent deal. Delano Banton, we saw his numbers. Koloko puts up 9 and 5 with a block and a half coming off the bench, so he's a defensive threat out there. Malachi Flynn not putting up that many points, but he's starting to shoot it more efficiently, so maybe I up his shot tendency a bit. And Bertans actually played really well for me. Like, he shot the ball really well. He probably was a liability on defense, but maybe a team will give him a contract after the season they saw from him. And that was it for our guys. Let's simulate these 2024 playoffs and see who the champion will be. Last year it was the Pelicans. This year we have the Cavs as the East team, with Garland as your finals MVP for the conference, and Luka is your Western Conference finals MVP, with the Mavericks getting out of there. So let's see who wins this. It is going to be the Mavericks, so Luka gets his championship. Let's see if they kept Fred. They did not even keep Fred on the team, and Luka brought these guys to a championship, so that is insane. Okay, let's look at this draft lottery for the second season and see if we can get lucky. We actually have the 6th projected pick and 13 from New York that I believe is top 3 protected. So let's skip this lottery and see what happens. And we end up with 7 and still 13 from New York, so that is not the best outcome. I think I'm just gonna make both of my picks at 7 and 13 because like I said, we kind of blew this team up and we're trying to get as many young players as we can to rebuild. I know I got him in one of my last videos, but Bronny James is here and we do need a potential stud at that starting point guard spot, so I am going to take Bronny James with my 7th overall pick. Technically LeBronto, since Bronny James is LeBron James Jr., will become a thing just for Toronto Raptors fans. That's a positive outcome and not a depressing one. I know nothing about this guy, but I think I'm going to take Sean Stewart here with, I believe, my 13th overall pick, to be a small ball center and potential backup 4 guy. He has Tom Chambers all-star potential and his floor is being a starter. So yeah, we're gonna pick him up with my 14th or 13th pick. Here's the top 7 if you want to take a look. The Spurs actually got picks 1 and 2, so they're gonna be nasty in the future. And then there's Bronny James at number 7, and our rookies come in at 74 and 75, so that's pretty solid. Team player options: Scotty getting accepted, OG declined, so I am going to have to pay him, hopefully not too much. Koloko getting accepted, and then Davis Bertans and Evan Fournier, we're both gonna make them walk. Qualifying offers, I will give to Precious and Malachi, just because I feel like Malachi can be a pretty decent backup point guard for me at this point. So Gary Trent is also a free agent, and I don't have any bird rights on him. He's still only 25 and wants like not too much money here, so I'm gonna see if I can lock him up for 4 years, starting at 21 and ending at 24, and potentially maybe in that 3rd year, if I have to, I can move him if we want to pick up someone else or use him to trade for like a star. OG wants 35 mil. I don't think I want to offer him that, so I might wait a couple days here in free agency and see if his price comes down. Gary Trent will agree right away though, so that's good to see. And let's get out of this moratorium here. We do get Gary. I'm gonna sign Precious to a new deal for 3 years, starting at 13 and ending at 14.3. I don't think he's gonna be like my center of the future, but maybe the guy I just drafted can kind of play a similar role that he does. So 3 years from now, they can kind of swap spots and I can move on from Precious or maybe even trade him at that point. So yeah, we're gonna offer him that. And then Malachi only wants around 4 mil. I'm gonna give him 4 mil back for 3 years, so I'll end up at 4.4, and he'll just be my backup point guard for the near future. Precious and Malachi both accept their deals. So we are on day 11 of free agency out of 12, and OG still wants like 31 mil. I don't think he's worth that much in this game, at least. In real life though, he could potentially be worth that much money. I think I'm gonna give him a 4-year deal, so up until he's 31, backloaded, so start him at 30 mil and ending off at 34.5 mil. Then worst case scenario, if we need to pay some other guys, I can potentially trade him. Like, he has a big contract, I can match up with other guys in the league. So yeah, I'm gonna give him that, and he agrees right away. Let's see how our guys are looking in this player progression. Scotty Barnes goes up 1, Azor Thompson goes up 5, so that is huge. Jelano Banton actually goes up 3-2. I'm gonna move him back to small forward, power forward, because I have Bronny James coming in now. And yeah, all we have now is green or neutral guys, so this is beautiful to see for our rebuild. Let's sim to this next season. I think this would be the 3rd season, and get this lineup ready with these young guys. Here's what the lineup's gonna look like for this 3rd season. Bronny James in that starting spot, getting 33 a night. Gary Trent, bumping him down to 27 because I have other guys that are coming up that I still want to progress. OG came off a big contract, still got to give him over 30 a night. Scotty Barnes with the most on the team, as he's the highest overall, getting 35 a night. Precious around 27 still. Azor Thompson, my 6th man, with 21. Delano Banton at an 80 overall now with 17. Koloko at 17. Sean Stewart, my other rookie, with 17. And then Malachi getting 15. Hopefully this is a year we can make a jump with these young guys and these rookies I brought in. If not, maybe we'll look to do some big trades, as I feel like Scotty Barnes is at the point now where he can start taking a team on a good playoff run. We're kind of at the mid-season point, and I just realized I forgot to check the shot tendencies, and Scotty Barnes and OG have criminal shot tendencies for what they're actually putting up. First of all, in real life, but now we're 3 years in the future, so they'd be shooting the ball a lot more, especially with Pascal and Fred gone. So I'm gonna get Scotty Barnes up to like a 90 because he's the highest overall. I'm gonna get OG up to an 80. Gary Trent is a shooter, he's gonna get up to an 85. We can keep Thompson there. Delano Banton, we can get him up to a 70. Precious can stay there. I already lowered his shot 3 tendency because he has a D+ rating in this game. I know in real life he shoots them, but in this game his rating is just too low and it doesn't make sense. Koloko can stay there. This Sean Stewart guy can stay there. Malachi Flynn, like, he's coming off my bench and he's gonna be like my shooter off the bench, so we'll get him at 65. That's what Bronny James came in. And yeah, no one else matters here, so let's continue simming this season. Season is about to be wrapped, and we are above a 500 team. As you can see in the bottom left, we're 42 and 39. 1 game left against the Cavs, and we lose. So we go 42 and 40. Jokic is your new MVP. Isaiah Collier, Rookie of the Year. Markelle, 6th man in Memphis. Wemby, Defensive Player of the Year. Tarquavion Smith is your Most Improved Player. And Jamal Mosley is the Coach of the Year. Here's All-NBA first, no surprises there. All-NBA second, Tyrese gets there, and Mobley, with Wembanyama as well. All-NBA third, you have Cade, Trae Young, Jaylen Brown, and Zion making it there. Same with Bam, so a lot of new guys. All-defensive first is looking like this. All-defensive second looking like this, with Chet on there, which is kind of surprising. Here's All-Rookie first. We do get Bronny James there. and all rookie second looking like this. We didn't get our other guy, unfortunately. So is 42 wins enough for, wow, 42 wins in the East is enough for a secured playoff spot. That is crazy. Here's the player stats on the season. Bronny James leads the way as a rookie, 19 points, 4 rebounds, 8 assists with 2 steals, shooting the ball pretty efficiently. Gary Trent, 15 points, 1 rebounds, shooting the ball great now from 3 compared to his other seasons. Azor Thompson also makes a huge jump in his shooting percentages, so let us see that. Scotty Barnes, 15 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists. Shooting the ball all right, kind of a drop off in his efficiency, and his points per game went down too, but I changed it mid-season, like the shot tendency, so next season should be more true to what it is. OG's shot points per game also went down, but like I said, next season will be more true to what these guys are actually doing and what they would actually do if I were rebuilding this team. Here's Precious's points per game. Koloko still playing solid with a block a night. Banton has a decent season. He's kind of staying around the same with the shooting, so that's not really good to see. Here's Sean Stewart, didn't have the best year. And then Malachi Flynn was my last guy, who's still shooting the ball pretty well, honestly. Let's see who the Pistons have. We have them in the first round. They have Cade, 92, Ivy, 85, Cameron Whitmore, 80, Isaiah Stewart, 82, and they picked up Miles Turner as an 84 center. So I do not feel confident about this. Let's see what happens, though. Game 1, we lose. Game 2, we win. Game 3, we lose. Game 4, we lose. Game 5, we lose. So we get gentlemen swept, not surprising. The fact we even made a playoff spot though is good to see that we're making improvement. Anthony Edwards on the Magic is your East MVP, and Zion is your West MVP. Let's see what the champions are of this season. It is the Magic with Wembanyama as your Finals MVP. So the Magic have Anthony Edwards at a 91, Wembanyama at a 90, Suggs is an 83, Wagner at an 86, Kyle Kuzma is an 84. This guy, not important. Banchero has an 86. Wendell Carter, 82. And Mitchell Robinson, 83. So they have a really good team. 2025 draft lottery. I don't think we'll have any picks that we got in trades. Yeah, it doesn't look like we'll have anything in the lottery. And I am right, we do not. We just have our pick at 17, and that is it. Nick Nurse is off the books, and honestly, I do not think I want to bring him back. In real life, I don't like how he's coaching the team. He did coach that championship team, but it was a completely different mindset than I think the team should have right now, so I'm going to look for a different direction. I think I'm going to bring Chris Finch in. I'm pretty sure he was an assistant coach for the Raptors too in the past, and then he went to the Timberwolves, I believe. But he has history with the organization that's pretty positive, so I am going to give him a offer to be the new head coach of the Toronto Raptors, and he agrees. With my 17th overall pick, I'm gonna pick up this guy named Jaleel Duncan. He was supposed to go around like 7 to 9. Well, NBA.com has him at 15. He has other rankings at 1 and 2, so he's kind of fallen down to me here, and he has pretty decent ratings. I feel like he could progress with. He has Jamal Murray potential, so he could back up Bronny if I don't want to keep Malachi there, and we're going to pick him up and see what he can do. So Jaleel comes in at a 71, and then I had my assistant GM draft this guy in the second round, who honestly I'm going to pick him up and see if he progresses. Azor Thompson's getting his option accepted. Scotty Barnes and Koloko I'll both give qualifying offers to. We are out of the moratorium period, and it is time for me to give Scotty Barnes a huge deal, so I'm going to give him a $35 million deal for 5 years, Bird, ending off at $46 million. He'll definitely agree to it. Then I'm going to give Koloko a 4-year deal starting at 8.5 and ending at 9.7 to be my backup center probably for the future. So Scotty agrees and Koloko agrees as well. That is all I want to do for the free agency period. I really like the guys I have on my team that I've been drafting and who I just had already to work with. So player progression, Scotty Barnes unfortunately doesn't progress. OG goes up though. Azor Thompson goes past Gary Trent, so maybe it's time for Azor Thompson to take over that starting 2 spot, and we potentially trade Gary Trent for a different guy. Banton stays the same. Bronny James goes up 5 to a 79. Koloko goes up 1 and Stewart goes up 1. Let's sim to this next season now, which I believe will be the 4th season, and hopefully this team can finally make a jump. I believe I might actually do a trade in the deadline this year to make us better, but we'll see once we get there. Here's what the lineups can look like for this 2025-26 season. Azor Thompson is getting into that starting 2 spot. At the deadline, I might look for a Precious and Gary Trent package with some firsts to highly upgrade my center position, but we'll look to see what happens there. Other than that, the whole starting lineup is the same. Koloko is the 6th man now at 21, Gary Trent 19, and then Banton, Stewart, and Malachi all getting 15 to round off the rotation. We have a 4-star system proficiency with Chris Finch's 7-second system, so that's pretty good. Hopefully this will be a year we can make a deep playoff run, and we're gonna probably take a look at the deadline to see if we can improve this year. We are at the trade deadline and we are 34-19. So this team is making a huge jump. It's good enough for 3rd in the East. I think this is definitely the year to pull the trigger on a big trade. The 76ers are 20-35. They're the 14th team in the conference and they still have Embiid there. He's only 31 and still is a 93 overall, and we would have him for 2 years if we were able to do a trade here. And he's still shooting the ball really well and putting up great numbers. So I'm going to try to put a package together for Joel Embiid. All right, so here's what I'm thinking so far. Gary Trent, Precious, Delano Banton, and a first for Joel Embiid and some filler guys here. Karras could actually end up getting some minutes for me to replace Delano Banton's spot. I don't think they'll agree. I'll probably have to add on more picks, but let's see where we're at. And yeah, they say it's not enough. So what if I throw on that 2nd Lakers pick? Still not enough. And let's see what happens with a 3rd 2-star Mavericks pick. If it's enough for them, still not interested. So this other Mavericks pick I got for this year is actually 3 stars. That might do it for us and get this trade over the top. Let's see if they agree. Still not interested. I wonder if I do the 2 Mavericks picks instead of the 2 Lakers picks, if it'll work out any differently. Oh my God, and they agree to it. I did not think they were going to agree to that. Just me swapping out the Lakers for the Mavericks picks. So we trade for Joel Embiid. Here's the full trade. Gary Trent, Precious, Delano Banton, 2026 first round Lakers pick, 2026 first round Mavericks pick, and a 2027 first round Mavericks pick for Joel Embiid, Luke Cornett, and Caris LeVert. Here's what the new lineup's looking like post Embiid trade. We have Bronny James 33, Azor Thompson up to 37, OG 37, Scotty 37, Embiid getting 33, Caris LeVert 6th man with 18, Koloko getting 15, Sean Stewart getting 15, and Malachi rounding it off with 15. So let's see if that trade is enough to put us over the top this season in the playoffs. 2025-26 season is wrapped. Isaiah Collier is your MVP. Basala Bagayoko is your Rookie of the Year. Terquavion Smith, 6th man. Wemby, Depoy, Isaiah Collier, most improved as well. And Jamal Mosley, Coach of the Year. Here's your All-NBA first team, All-NBA second team, and All-NBA third team. RJ Barrett making it on there now too. And Amen Thompson gets a nod. We get Embiid on there, so that's great to see. Here's all defensive first and all defensive second, and then I don't think we would have any rookies here, and we do not. So let's see where we ended up post Embiid trade, and we're still a 6th seed. Last year we had 42 wins and we're a 6th seed, and this year we have 48 and we're still a 6th seed, so that is not the best. Here's the stats on the season. Embiid leads the way, 23, 11, and 4, shooting the ball pretty well still for his age. Bronny up to 20 points a night, almost averaging a double-double with assists, and then 5 rebounds and a steal and a half, shooting the ball pretty well. Scotty Barnes up to 19 a night with 7 rebounds and 5 assists, also a steal, and shooting the ball decent. Azor Thompson up to 18 a night with 6 rebounds and 6 assists, giving us 2 steals, 50, 40, 80. OG, don't think he's really worth that $30+ million contract I gave him. He's putting up 14 a night with 4 rebounds and 3 assists and only a steal and a half. In real life, he'd probably be putting up much better than that, but he is shooting the ball efficiently, so we'll take that. Caris LeVert came in and played trash for me, so we're probably gonna have to take his minutes away. Koloko still played great for me as a backup big. Malachi Flynn still playing solid for me as a backup point guard. And then Sean Stewart has not progressed at all since his rookie season, so that is not really good for us. I'm gonna run a 9-man rotation. Actually, I'm gonna run an 8-man rotation and let 2K come up with it. But I am going to swap Cornett's minutes out for Sean Stewart, even though he doesn't shoot the best. And I'm going to swap Caris LeVert out for Malachi Flynn. Actually, I'm going to get rid of some of Sean Stewart's minutes as well and get Scotty Barnes with a bunch there. Maybe we'll get Scotty Barnes at like 37 and then get OG a couple more there as well. So yeah, that looks a lot better to me. We have the Pacers in the first round this time. Let's see who they have on their team. Tyrese 93, Jeb Howard 82. Mathurin 85, Bol now at the 4 at an 82, and they have Jalen Duren at the 5 at an 83. I feel like we could overcome this team. Game 1 we lose though. Game 2 we also lose. Game 3 we win. Game 4 we win. Game 5 we lose. Game 6 we lose. So out in the first round again, We're going to have one more year with Embiid here before he becomes a free agent. Jalen Green is your West MVP. Darius is your East MVP. Let's see who wins this 2026 championship, and it is the Rockets with Jabari Smith as your finals MVP. Draft lottery, I pretty much traded away all my picks, but it'd be crazy to see where that Mavericks pick ends up. So yeah, the 76, that 5th pick would have been mine that I traded to the 76ers for Embiid, and it ends up at 2. So that is pretty good for the 76ers in rebuild mode to make that trade, getting off Embiid and ending up with the 2nd overall pick. They also have 13 that I gave them from the Lakers. We still have the 20th pick too, which isn't too bad. With my 20th pick, I'm going to pick up this guy Caleb Wilson, who could be a backup big for me in the future, and he still stays at a 74, which is pretty good. Everyone here is getting their team player option accepted. So going into the 2026-27 season, I'd have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 guys. So I need to sign potentially a backup small forward and shooting guard, or just a backup shooting guard small forward who can run both. And I see Spencer Dinwiddie here, who is still a pretty solid player in the league. I'm gonna see if I can get him for a $10 million deal for 2 years flat and see if he accepts that, and he'll accept it right away. So player progression, let's see where our guys are at. Embiid going down and Dinwiddie, which is pretty understandable given their age, but Amen Thompson is an 87 now, same as Scotty Barnes. And Bronny James is up to an 84, so he's progressing pretty well. Everyone else is kind of stagnant though, so that's not the best. Hopefully these 3 guys and then Embiid still can lead us to a chip. Okay, so now that I have everyone on my team and I like where they're at, like they're pretty much where I want them to be at overall wise, and they'll just progress on their own. I'm going to let 2K do the rotation. So they have Bronny James at 38 tonight, Amen Thompson 34, OG 30, Scotty Barnes 31, Embiid 36, with Dinwiddie as the 6th man with 26, Koloko getting 19, Stewart getting 15, and Malachi Flynn getting 11. I'm honestly okay with that. I kind of like it. This needs to be a year where we make a decent jump, and it does not look like it starts off well. So hopefully our guys can pull together, and it really does not look good so far. I stopped slightly before the trade deadline. This team is only 29 and 26, and I feel like in this game, OG for the contract he's getting is not playing up to it. So I'm gonna see if I can put together an insane package to upgrade OG. The Hawks right now are a rebuilding team, and they're 1 game out of a play-in spot. I'm gonna see if I can trade them OG for Desmond, Bane, and some future assets. Even though it's within conference, I feel like we could make a fair trade package together here that'd be good for both sides. Let's see if OG and a future first of mine will do it for Desmond Bane. They do not agree. They want 3 firsts from me, and they'll give me Mark Williams. What if I do 1 more lottery protected first and they agree? So we trade OG, an unprotected first, and a lottery protected first for Desmond Bane. Season is wrapped. I'm not going to spend too much time on the awards anymore, but you can stop and take a look if you see anyone that you're really into and you want to see just what numbers they put up. Will Hardy, Coach of the Year. Here's your All-NBA first team, All-NBA second team. We get Bronny James on there, so that is huge. And here's your All-NBA third team with Azor Thompson making it there as well. Here's all defensive first, all defensive second. We get Bronny James as well. And then I don't think we would have any rookies. So we ended up as a 6th seed again, and we were going to have the Pacers in the first round again. We only ended up winning 44 wins with 2 All-NBA guys. I really don't understand why, like what's wrong with this team that we did that bad. Bronny puts up 26, 7, and 12 with 2 steals, shooting the ball really well. So well deserved for him for that All-NBA nod. Same with Thompson, 23, 6, and 6, shooting the ball really well and playing good defense. So he deserves it too. Scotty Barnes, 18.7 rebounds, 5 assists, doing pretty much what he's been doing this whole video. Desmond Bane came in and he just shot the ball a lot better for me, which is what I like, and still plays good defense. Embiid takes a pretty big drop off in his shooting, so that's probably why we didn't do as well. Spencer Dinwiddie came in and played great for me as a backup small forward shooting guard. Koloko still being a great backup big man. Stewart is playing terrible, so he might actually have to come out of the lineup. Malachi Flynn is still playing solid. So maybe I take Stewart out and give one of these other guys a chance, even though they haven't really played at all. I think to start the playoffs, I will let Stewart stay in the lineup and see if he can prove himself. We have pretty much the same matchup as last year, except they have a different guy at the 4. So yeah, I think our team's way better. Like, we should be way better than a 6 seed. Game 1, we win. Game 2, we lose. Game 3, we win. Game 4, we win. Game 5, we lose. Game 6, we win. So we get out of the first round. We have Orlando in the second round. Let's see who they have on the team. I'm pretty sure they're pretty stacked. Yeah, they have Sexton at the 1, Edwards at the 2, Wagner at the 3, 79 Obi Toppin at the 4, but then a 98 Wembanyama at the 5. Stewart is still playing terribly, so I'm honestly going to get rid of his minutes and just give those to Malachi Flynn. And let's see what happens here against the Magic. Game 1, we lose. Game 2, oh my god, I pressed simulate round. Okay, we're up 2-1 somehow. Game 3, we lose. Or that would have been game 4, so we're tied at 2 apiece. Malachi is also playing terrible, so I'm honestly just gonna run a 7-man rotation. I'm gonna make Dinwiddie a backup point guard again so he can run that spot for us. And let's see what happens here. Game 5, we lose. Game 6, we lose. So we get out in the second round. Embiid is going to be a free agent this year. If I have the money, I might sign someone else if I can because he's getting older. As the Magic win the finals again and Wembanyama is your MVP. Oh my god, dude. I forgot I had that Lakers pick and it ends up at 2. So we have the 2nd overall pick in this draft. This team to me is still in a win now mode period. So I honestly think I'm going to shop around this 2nd pick and see if I can find a great player. So just looking at the trade finder, we don't have much that's that great. We have OG back, but I don't want him back. I don't really need him. And yeah, we're not looking like we're getting great offers here for the 2nd overall pick. I kind of would need another backup big, but none of these guys here are really worth it to me. DeAndre Ayton though, and a 1st, could be worth it. I think I'm gonna do this trade. Embiid is getting old. I don't want to re-sign him because he's gonna just regress off a cliff and probably be as much of an overall as DeAndre Ayton is. So yeah, we're gonna trade the 2nd overall pick and this rookie I had, Caleb Wilson, for DeAndre Ayton and a future 1st from the Suns, and they agree obviously. The Suns, with that 2nd overall pick I gave them, ended up taking a 76 overall. The 1st round pick was an 87, so this was pretty much like whoever has the 1st pick is a lucky guy, and the rest of the guys are just pretty decent prospects. So yeah, Embiid declines his player option and he will become a free agent. All these other guys though I'm going to accept. I'm going to give Azor Thompson his qualifying offer, but not any of these other guys. I think it is time to move on from Malachi Flynn and give my other rookie point guard who haven't played yet a chance. So I'm going to renounce all these guys, and potentially if I can sign Azor Thompson and Embiid, I might do it just to really go all in. So Azor is getting a contract offer. We are going to match that. And Embiid was picked up in the moratorium period, so we cannot bring him back. I'm going to bring PJ Washington in free agency just because I don't trust my other guy, Sean Stewart, to be shooting the ball well still. And he agrees. Then I'm going to bring in Ochai Agbaji as a backup 2 for me for 2 years and see how he does, and he agrees. Let's see what player progression is looking like in this 6th season. Bronny James is going to be a 90 soon. Scotty Barnes is staying around an 87, and yeah, we have a lot of really good guys here who I'm really hoping can finally take us over the top. And then we have some guys down here who are high 70s but really solid players. So let's simulate to this 6th season, I believe, and hopefully these guys can finally get it done with Ayton being kind of a younger guy to come in as my center who's still really solid. Here's what the lineup's looking like for the 2027-28 season. Bronny at the 1, Desmond Bane at the 2, Thompson at the 3, Scotty at the 4, and Ayton at the 5, with Koloko, Dinwiddie, PJ Washington, Jaleel Duncan, my rookie point guard who I drafted in 2025, who hasn't really gotten a chance yet, as my 9th man, and Ochai Agbaji as my 10th man. So 7 seconds is a 4.5-star system proficiency, but so is pace and space, and it seems like pace and space might be better. I think 7 seconds is a bit better for everyone overall, but it has not worked for us in this video, so we'll see maybe at the trade deadline. If the record's not good, I might change the system and see if that has any effect. We are at the all-star draft break and we're only 27 and 26. I don't understand how we're that bad with this roster, but PJ Washington still isn't shooting the ball well either, and Spencer Dinwiddie is kind of falling off. So I'm gonna throw Dinwiddie, Stewart, who I don't think is a good player for me, and PJ Washington in the trade finder and see what comes up, and they say nothing. What about just Stewart and PJ? So the Knicks will offer me Nas Little, who's 27 years old and is honestly shooting the ball way better than either of these guys could. So maybe they take PJ as a guy who can still play decent for them, and then Sean Stewart as kind of a project they could have in the future. So we're going to do this deal with the Knicks. Season's about to wrap, and again, we only win 44 games, 45 after beating the Heat there. Here's your awards for the year. I really don't understand what's wrong with this team. Like, all the players look good. To me, they play pretty well off of each other. Bronny James gets an All-NBA team again. Do we get Thompson? We do not this time. Here's all defensive first, all defensive second. Bronny doesn't make it. And yeah, we will not have any rookies. Let's see where 44 win gets us. Again, a 6 seed against the Pacers in the first round. Here's the stats on the year. Honestly, not going to spend too much time on it. Like, everyone here shoots the ball well. Thompson gives me 2 steals and a block a night. Like, everyone's playing good defense. Barnes gives me a steal, shoots the ball well. Bane a steal, shoots the ball well. Ayton has a great shooting season for probably his best one in his whole career other than this 1 year here. Jaleel Duncan came in and played solid for me as a backup point guard. Koloko still playing great for me. Dinwiddie kind of played better after he wasn't playing the best around the All-Star break. And Nas Little shot the ball great for me. So did Agbaji. He played great for me as well. So yeah, it's honestly really confusing why this team isn't getting higher ratings. We're going against the Pacers again, who have 87 Caleb Foster, 81 Zach LaVine, 89 Babacar Miller, 84 Kyle Phillips, and 84 Durant. Like, our starting lineup is better or the same rated in every single category, but somehow they're the 3 seed and we're the 6 seed. So game 1, we win. Game 2, we win. Game 3, we win. Game 4, we win. And we sweep them. Like, how does that make any sense that they're a better seed than us and our team's just way better? We're going against the Magic in the second round again, who beat us last year. They have a 77 at the 1, a 79 at the 4, and they're the 2nd seed. They have a 99 overall Wembanyama, but like, our roster, we have a 90 overall as well. And we have a bunch of borderline 90 guys all across the board there. So let's see what happens. Game 1, we lose. Game 2, we lose. Okay, I'm not doing this. Dinwiddie is playing horrible, so I'm just going to take him completely out of the lineup. I'm going to take his minutes away and give them to Agbaji. So yeah, that will look a lot better than me. I might go 10 here actually, just because I feel like I like it better, and give Desmond Bane 1 more minute. So game 3 against the Magic here, we win. Game 4, we lose. Game 5, we win. Game 6, we win, and we take them to game 7. Simulate with Simcast. Can we finally get a deep playoff run here? We start the game great. Going into the second, they're kind of coming back a little bit. Into halftime, we're still up. Going into the third, we're pulling away with it. Is this the year? It seems like it's going to be the year. They're not coming back, and we make it out of the second round to beat the Magic with 99 Wembanyama, who still has a great game. But we have Bronny James putting up 41, 7, and 10 with 2 steals and 2 blocks, shooting the ball great, to make it into the Eastern Conference Finals for the first time in this video against the 8-seeded Hornets. The Hornets still have LaMelo. They have an 88 Anthony Black, a 79 Bryce James. So this is the Bronny versus Bryce brother series here. 86 Taylor Hendricks and 75 Udoka Azubuike. We should not lose this series. Game 1, we lose. I say that and we lose. Game 2, we win. Game 3, we win. Game 4, we win. Game 5, we win. So we make it to the NBA Finals to go against the Spurs, who have Xavier Booker as the West MVP and Bronny James putting up 26, 7, and 14 with 3 steals, shooting 54 from the field and 40 from 3 as your East MVP. The Spurs have a 93 Isaiah Collier, 87 Kyrie Irving, 88 Ian Jackson, 93 Xavier Booker, and 80 Charles Bassey. They have a pretty stacked 1 through 4, but I feel like my 5 is way better, so let's see what happens. Game 1, we lose. Game 2, we lose. Okay, we gotta adjust this rotation. I'm honestly debating getting rid of Jaleel and Agbaji's minutes and then switching Scottie Barnes' backup position to point guard so he can cover those minutes, and I feel like that would be a lot better. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna make Scottie the backup point guard to cover for Jaleel's minutes, and hopefully that works out for us. Game 3, we still lose. Oh my god, dude. Can we make the biggest comeback in NBA playoff history? Game 4, we win. Game 5, we win. Game 6, we lose. And the Spurs beat us in 6 games. Xavier Booker is your finals MVP, putting up 26, 12, and 6. I'm going to run it back for one more final season and see what we can do. We end up with the 10th pick in the lottery. Maybe I could use it in a trade or maybe just pick up a guy there. I'm going to try to trade the Pelicans Desmond Bane and 2 of my first round picks this year and 1 future pick for Amari Bailey and Grant Williams. They could be doing this maybe to try to win now with Zion still, to have a veteran guy in Desmond Bane who will show up for you in the playoffs, and they still get some pretty good future assets. Like, this is a lottery pick that you get a good guy with, and I take back Grant Williams, who will be a solid guy for me at the backup 4 or 3 spot. So we're going to do this trade, and they agree. I'm pretty sure Bronny and Amari Bailey play on the same high school team now too, so maybe this will be a good chemistry thing to help us end up with a better record, and I'm giving Bronny the qualifying offer, obviously. So we are going to sign Bronny to a 5-year deal starting at 42 mil and ending up at 55, and I will be shocked if he doesn't accept it. He does right away. Going into this final season, we'd have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 guys, so I don't think I need to pick up anyone else in this free agency period. And let's just look at see how everyone's progressing. Okay, Bronny's up to a 93. Hopefully he can be that guy to lead us over the top. Like 2K will be like, okay, he's above a 93 overall, so we're gonna let him put their team higher in the standings. But if you look at this, 93, 89, 89, 88, 87, then we have 81, 80, 78, and then Jaleel Duncan will probably get to a 72. So we're gonna have Agbahi also getting minutes too, but he's just a solid guy. My point here is we have like such a deep roster here. If we're not at least a top 3 seed, I don't know what to do. Here's what the lineup's looking like for this last season. Still have everything the same except Amari Bailey sliding into that starting 2 spot. Our starting 2 is kind of moved around here. We had Gary Trent, then we had Thompson go in there, then I moved Thompson to the 3 when I traded OG. So hopefully he'll be a guy that will just take us over the top and be a really good positional player there. Still have Scotty at the 4, Ayton at the 5 at an 89 now, then Grant Williams, Nas Little, Koloko still here with Jaleel Duncan and Agbahi rounding off the rotation. And we have achieved a 5-star system proficiency without me even trying to do it. So hopefully this means we won't be a 6 seed or worse like we've been this whole video, when I don't think we should have been. Let's sim this final season and see if this is it. We are finally a 50+ win team. I cannot believe it's the first time in like 7 years doing this Raptors rebuild. We achieved it, but one more game left against the Pacers and we lose. So we go 56-26. Here's your awards for this 2029 NBA season, which will be the last season of this rebuild. If you want to stop and take a look at any players, you can. Here's your All-NBA first with Bronny James finally making an All-NBA first team. Love to see that. All-NBA second, we don't get any guys. And All-NBA third, we don't get Amen Thompson, or we don't get a Zer Thompson, but Amen Thompson ends up there. Here's All-Defensive first with Amari Bailey on there. So that was a huge trade for us. And All-Defensive second. And yeah, we do not care about these rookies. So are we still a 6 seed? We are not. We move up to the 4th seed with a 56 win record. Here's your stats for the final season from the players. 25, 6, and 13 from Bronny with 2 steals a night, shooting the ball great. Amari Bailey comes in and averages the most points of his career over here for us, putting up 6 rebounds and 6 assists with 2 steals as well, shooting insane. So their chemistry from their high school days, I'm pretty sure, came in handy in the league. Azor Thompson also giving me 2 steals a night with his career high in assists and shooting the ball great. Scotty Barnes has been solid for me throughout this whole video. Wasn't really my number 1 guy, but he is, I would say, like a 2 or 3 guy. Actually, he's kind of a 4 guy, which is pretty insane considering the talent we have on this team. Here's DeAndre Ayton, shoots almost 40% from 3. So he came here in this system and just blossomed in his 3-point shooting. Jaleel Duncan playing great for me as my point guard who I drafted that just came in and progressed for me. Koloko has been solid for me this whole video as a backup guy, which hopefully in real life he can be as for the Raptors. Nas Little still played solid for me, shot the ball well, what I need him to do. Grant Williams played great, stretching the floor, shooting almost 45% from 3. And then here's Agbahi's numbers, who kind of had a bit of a fall off, but that's all right because he's just the last guy on the rotation. Let's see who the Knicks have these days in 2029. They have DJ Wagner, Nick Smith, RJ, Tatum, and then a 79-year-old Jaden, or 79 overall Jaden Williams. So their 1 through 4 is insane. I would argue it's better than ours, which is kind of scary. All I can do here is hope for the best. Game 1, we win. Game 2, we win. Game 3, we win. Game 4, we win. So we sweep them, which is surprising because they had Tatum there. And now Philly is the 1 seed. I traded them like my 2nd overall pick for Embiid years ago, and they're already up to a 1 seed in the league. because they signed Zion. So Zion left the Pelicans once they traded me Amari and ended up going to join the Tyrese and the Sixers. I think I'm just gonna auto shorten my bench to like 9 guys because I think Jaleel will round it off there, yeah, instead of playing Agbaji there, so my starters get more minutes. Let's see what happens. Game 1, we lose. Game 2, we lose. Okay, I'm going to make sure there's not a 70 or under player getting minutes in my rotation, so we're gonna run it to 7. Yeah, 7-man rotation here. They gotta make a comeback. Game 3, we still lose. Come on, man. Game 4, we win. Game 5, we win. Game 6, we win. Game 7, we lose. Oh my god, that would have been crazy of a comeback there. But yeah, so unfortunately we don't end up with a championship, as Marcus Johnson is your East MVP and Scoot is your West MVP on the Thunder, and your 2029 champions are the 76ers with Marcus Johnson as your finals MVP. We made it to 1 finals appearance. We ended up with, we still have a really good team here. Like, they could probably still compete with Ayton here for another 3 years before he starts falling off too much. And even after that, like, you have Bronny James, Azor Thompson, Amari Bailey, Scotty Barnes will still be solid. And then you just got to work with these bench guys here. Jaleel Duncan, who I drafted, is still going to be a really good player, probably even better at that point in his prime. So yeah, I still like the rebuild we did here. I feel like it worked out better than if we had kept Pascal and Fred and tried to make that work. That is going to be it though. If you guys enjoyed, leave a like and comment down below what you thought. Also subscribe so you don't miss a video. I post every Sunday and Wednesday at 3 p.m. Hope everyone's doing well. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.